Hello, welcome to Today in History. My name is Sotonye Afiesima. It's the 1st of September. Let's get rolling. Now, this guy's name is Joaquín Balaguer. He was the president of the Dominican Republic, born on this day in 1907. Villa Bisono. He died July 14th, 2002 at the age of 94. Now, Mr. Joaquín Balaguer served 3 non-consecutive terms for the office of the presidency. The first term was from 1960 to 1962, the second from 1966 to 1978, and the third from 1986 to 1996. It is said that his regime was that of terror and damaged 11,000 victims who were either tortured or forcibly disappeared and killed. So that's the president, or former and late president of the Dominican Republic, who sadly will not be missed by most of the people who he presided over as the leader. So, born on this day in 1907, died July 14th, 2002 at the age of 94. Let's move on to the next newsworthy item of this day. This guy's name is Rocky Marciano. He was an American athlete, and he was born Rocco Francis Marchegiano. Was an American professional boxer who competed from 1947 to 1955 and held the world heavyweight title from 1952 to 1956. He is the only heavyweight champion to have finished his career undefeated. Wow. His knockout to win percentage of 87.76% remains one of the highest in heavyweight boxing history. So, Rocky Marciano, born on this day in 1923. Next, we have this event, World War II. Germany invaded Poland on this day. So, the German invasion of Poland, the lethal combination of German blitzkrieg tactics, French and British inactivity, and Soviet perfidy, doomed Poland to swift defeat after Adolf Hitler invaded the country today in 1939 and sparked the Second World War. The German invasion began today, 1 week after the signing of the Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact between Germany and the Soviet Union. The Soviets invaded Poland on the 17th of September. The campaign ended on the 6th of October with Germany and the Soviet Union dividing and annexing the whole of Poland under the terms of the German-Soviet Frontier Treaty. So, in summary, this invasion sparked the Second World War. So it happened on this day in 1939. 1950. His name, pictured right here, is Phil McGraw. So this is Dr. Phil McGraw. And because this doesn't quite fit the screen, I'm going to just move things a little bit so that you can see what it says right here. First of all, a bit about Dr. Phil McGraw. He's an American psychologist, born Philip Calvin McGraw on this day, 1950, also known as Dr. Phil. He is an American television personality. Also, he is an author and the host of the television show Dr. Phil. He holds a doctorate in clinical psychology, but ceased renewing his license to practice psychological therapy in 2006. McGraw rose to fame with appearances on the Oprah Winfrey Show in the late 1990s. Oprah Winfrey then helped McGraw launch his own program, Dr. Phil, in September 2002. So, I guess that was a birthday gift for him. So, Dr. Phil, he turns 70 today. So, happy birthday, Dr. Phil. Let's end up with a quote of his, which is right here on the screen, but I'm going to read it out again for those who cannot see. Be your authentic self, he says. Your authentic self is who you are when you have no fear of judgment, or before the world starts pushing you around and telling you who you're supposed to be. Your fictional self is who you are when you have a social mask on to please everyone else. Give yourself permission to be your authentic self. Well said. Absolutely well said, Dr. Phil. Give yourself permission to be your authentic self. While I was reading this quote, my mind just went to how children behave. When they're still very innocent, very young, they do not pretend. They say it like it is. I once heard a story, I think it was 2 or 3 days ago at work. So at my office, so someone was telling this joke, one of my colleagues, of how her father's sister came into the living room in the house. And this child said, "Oh, Daddy, that's your sister, the one who you do not like." And everyone just turned around and burst out laughing. That's the child. The child had obviously heard her dad say, "Oh, I don't like this sister of mine," and retained that information. And at the appropriate or inappropriate moment, this child just spewed out the information. Obviously, this sister of her dad's wasn't pleased, but that's children for you. They do not pretend, so we should be like that. We should be childlike, not childish. Childlike, be yourself, be your authentic self. Don't let people force you into their own mold. What do they know? They're human beings like you. Why should you allow someone try to force you to do or be something that you're not? So that's a reminder from Dr. Phil to be yourself. It doesn't mean if you're a murderer, go around carry on murdering people. No, that's not what we're talking about. Do not let the world force you into their own mold. Whoever is trying to force you into their own mold is also a human being like you. He's got flesh and blood just like you. He may be older, may be more experienced, but that's all he has over you. Be your authentic self. Be true to yourself. As long as you're not breaking the law, I don't see anything wrong with it. All right, let's move on to the next item, next newsworthy item for this day. So 1952, on this day, I'm going to shift this a bit so that we can get the next slide in frame. So on this day in 1952, that's another one that's out of frame, so I'm going to adjust things a little bit. My apologies for all this, but goes with the territory, Life magazine published Ernest Hemingway's Old Man and the Sea, his last major work of fiction. It was released as a book, and in 1953 it won a Pulitzer Prize. So, The Old Man and the Sea, which first appeared in Life magazine on this day in 1952. Let's move on to the next item today. So, 1969, on this day, Muammar al-Qaddafi leads a group of young army officers and deposes the king. And on this day, he makes Libya a republic. The year again was 1969. And for those of you who do not know, well, Gaddafi today is no more. He was assassinated a few years ago. But this is Gaddafi, former strongman of Libya, who came to power on this day in 1969. Let's move on to the year 1972. On this day, this guy, his name is Bobby Fischer. Who was Bobby Fischer, you may ask? Bobby Fischer was a chess player. It's obvious from chess pieces in front of him, which I'm sure you can just about pick out now. He defeated Boris Spassky to become the first native-born American to hold the title of World Chess Champion. His full name is Robert James Fischer. He was born on the 9th of March 1943 and died on the 17th of January 2008. He was a Grandmaster and the 11th World Chess Champion. Many consider him to be the greatest chess player of all time. Bobby Fischer, born on this day, or rather he defeated Boris Spassky on this day in 1972 to become the first native-born American to hold the title of World Chess Champion. Let's move on to the year 1985. So, 1985. If you recognize this, yes, it's the wreck of the Titanic. So on this day, in a search led by American oceanographer, whose name is Robert Ballard, the wreck of the Titanic was found. It was found on the ocean floor at a depth of about 13,000 feet or 4,000 meters. So that's Robert Ballard pictured here with a quote which we shall end with. It says, and I quote, "I learned how to order my thoughts, and most important, learned how to develop a plan. I discovered the power of a plan. If you can plan it out and it seems logical to you, you can do it. That was the secret to success." So, guys, ladies and gentlemen, remember this quote. When you make plans for the future, plans for your business, plans for life, plans for anything, order your thoughts, learn how to develop a plan, discover the power of a plan. If you can plan it out and it seems logical to you, most of the world, most of the time, operates on logic. That's how our world functions. If you jump off a building, you're going to come down. That's a law of gravity. That's why sometimes it baffles me when people live their lives. I don't know how to put it now. You live a life that is full of superstitious beliefs. Now, how can you base your life on something that doesn't have a firm footing? Some would come with the argument that the things that are not seen are stronger or more impactful than the things that are seen. Yes, I agree with that. I totally agree with that. But these things that are not seen are also logical things. They're also logical things. I'll give an example. The Earth is suspended in space. It's not seen. We cannot see that. But we know. How do we know? Science tells us that the Earth is suspended in space. It revolves around the sun. It rotates around its axis. And while it rotates around its axis, it revolves around the sun. But it is held suspended in space. And that may not seem logical, but that is the truth. That's the logic of the Earth. That's how we get our day and our night and our seasons. Summer, winter, autumn, spring. Okay? So that is something that's unseen that has an effect on the material world. That is also material as well, because obviously the Earth is material. It's not invisible. The Earth being in space, suspended in space, we cannot see that. This might not be the best example, but let me see if I can find another example. Let's see. Let's see. Let's talk about intangibles, since we are talking about things that are not seen. Intangibles. Audiobooks, for instance. So you have the option of having an audiobook and then the option of having a book or hard copy. Okay, so bear with me, guys. I'm trying to get my thoughts together. Now, if you were selling an audiobook and a hard copy, which one is likely to have a higher markup so that you make a profit? Very likely the book, the audio version, because once you've produced the first copy, everything else is pure profit. You don't find the same thing with the hard copy, because every hard copy, you have to put money aside to produce every hard copy. Yes, you can, the more prints you make, the less money you spend per copy, but you still have to spend money for each copy. So that's the analogy of the stuff that's invisible being stronger than what is visible, what's tangible. Okay, so to end this, we have to base our life on logic, because that is how the world operates. That is how life operates. The sun goes down, you go to bed. The sun rises the next morning, you wake up, you go to work. Everything is organized, everything is logical. So we should live our lives logically. We should learn how to order our thoughts, just as the universe is ordered. We should learn how to develop a plan, just like the universe is planned. There is power in a plan. There's power in order. There's a saying that the order is heaven's first law. Look at how the planets are arranged in space. They've always been like that. They've always been like that, at least for as long as we've existed. There's order in the universe. That is how we can plan for the future. If there wasn't order, then we won't be able to plan anything successfully. So, for those of us who rely on fables and superstitious beliefs, it's time to reorder our thoughts. Time to reorder our thoughts and think logically. Okay, guys, I'm going to stop my, what's it called now? What's the word? Preaching is not the word I'm looking for, but yeah, I guess preaching will do for now. But yeah, it would go a long way in helping us move from where we are to where we ought to be as a people. Let's live ordered, logical, organized lives. Life would be a lot better, a lot less stressful. On that note, guys, I shall end today's Today in History. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up. Do not forget to subscribe. You can do that by clicking the notification bell so that you receive updates of my video uploads. Again, my name is Sotonia Afiasimama. Share this with your friends and family. And again, do not forget to subscribe. I'll see you tomorrow for another edition of Today in History. Stay safe, guys. Bye-bye.